Okay, so good morning, everyone. So we're doing a foam roller session today. So if you've got a foam roller, you're going to grab that. And I've got a small towel for one of the exercises. So some sort of small thing to rest your head on would be useful. This class on a foam roller, we're going to incorporate some massage techniques and some stretches. So it's quite a gentle class. It's quite kind of more of a work in than a work out, if you get what I mean. So try and enjoy it. It should leave you feeling really good by the end. And if it doesn't, and if any exercises don't feel good, please just leave them out, okay? So we're going to start with a little massage for our hips. So if you come onto your mat, I'm going to sit with my hips on my roller to start with. So I've got it on long ways. I'm going to sit my bum on, my arms are resting out behind me. And I'm quite relaxed here, shouldn't be too much stress or anything. I'm just going to really gently curl my tail under and let the roller massage the back of my hips, my glute muscles, okay? And then just kind of really calm, just roll it back to your sit bones. So just starting super gentle, curl the tail, roll across those hip muscles, and rolling back. And just try and notice if you feel a little bit level, is there the same amount of weight or pressure on each side of your body? Good. Now we're going to go into a slightly deeper hip muscle stretch. So you're going to cross your right leg over your left, like so. And I'm going to take my left hand onto my right foot and then rock your weight all onto your right side. So I'm on my right glute at the moment. And now I'm going to roll the roller up and back on that glute, that buttock, okay? And you're going to feel now there's all of your weight on that hip. It's going to be a little more intense. And you want to kind of just sort of feel for the sort of interesting spots in the muscle. And if you can find one of those kind of little tight, interesting places, just breathe and hold there. And then just really simply, you can just do a little gentle rock side to side on the little tight spot. Just nice and calm. We're just going to do it a couple of times. Just so roll around. Find sometimes the top part of your glutes is a little tight. You can, or the middle, just find on your hips where there's a little tight muscle. And we want to breathe. Just kind of give it a little bit of pressure on the muscle to try and let it go a bit. One more time, just a little kind of roll around, find that sort of another, maybe a little tight spot. Just do a little rock. And when we release our hip muscles like this, it should give you better access to your lower back and all the muscles around the pelvis. We just want to be able to move a little bit more easily when the muscles are kind of not quite as tight. Okay, we're going to repeat this on the left. So just really simple, cross your left ankle over your right knee. I'm going to rock onto that left buttock, my left glute. I'm going to hold my hand, and if you can balance, okay. And just really calm, just breathe, and just sort of roll across this muscle. Curl the tail. And, you know, find where this side, where there's maybe a little interesting zone, where it's feels a little tighter. Breathe, a little gentle rock. I'll just keep going now. This is, for me, this is my left hip, and it's not nearly as tight as my right. So I can really, in my body, tell a difference between the sides. One side is definitely tends to be a little tighter. So again, you can just, it's just observation. Which side do you feel a little more gripped up? Good, and then a little rock again. Good, and then we're going to uncross our legs and we're going to lower our hips down in front of your roller. And now we're going to do a little massage on our mid-back. So if you take the roller out a little bit, have it on the sort of back rib cage. I'm going to put my hands behind my head so my neck is really nice and supportive. Lift up the hips a bit. And again, just start by rolling up and down the upper back. So you're just sort of massaging the soft tissue from the bottom of your rib cage up until the base of your neck. And again, you can go a little bit onto your right side and feel the muscles along the right side of your spine. And then just a little bit on the left. And you might notice, or maybe not, don't worry if you don't, there's a little bit of difference. Good, and then I'm going to lower my hips and I'm going to do a really gentle extension over the roller. So support your head in your hands, just gently, gently arch your back over the roller. Feel how it feels in your body. This should feel good. It shouldn't be painful in any way. So keep it small if it's not familiar to you. And just try and enjoy a little arch back, carrying your head. Just stretching the spine a little bit. And one more time, really gentle, just arch over. And coming back. Now we're going to go on to our side next and do a twist, a book opening with the roller. So if you bring yourself to sitting, I'm going to put my roller long ways along my mat and I'm going to be resting my top shin on it. And this is where I'm going to just use a small towel for my head, just purely for comfort and ease on my neck. So I'm lying on my side, the top shin, my ankle and knee is just resting on that roller. I'm lying on my side and I've got a little prop for my head. Okay, arms out long. Now, to start with, just slide your top arm across the ground as far as you can and let your shoulder slide forward so you feel a little bit of a stretch. Then bring it back hand to hand. And again, we can just do a little slide. Let your head kind of roll with it so it's no tension, just let it move. And that. We're going to go into our book openings. So if you lift your top arm, now keep a little bit of pressure on your shin on that roller as we twist. If we're pressing slightly down on the roller, it'll keep your lower body still. And then bring yourself back. We're going to do this 2 more times. Very simple book opening. Just a gentle rotation. Again, warming up the spine. Keep a little weight on the roller on your leg. We're going to do it 1 more. And if you feel good, you can even think of it very micro rolling the roller a teeny bit forward. So you get a little deeper into that spiral, this last one. And coming back, okay? Nice and simple, we're gonna do that on the other side. So bring yourself around to side 2, lying down. My shin is gonna be on the roller. Other leg is just relaxed out of the way. Arms are together. And I'm gonna slide my arm forward, do the little arm slide. So you stretch the shoulder blade forward and then slide it back. Nice and calm, reach all the way forward. And then back. Now going into the book opening, so I'm going to lift my arm up. My head is just relaxed, so neck should feel nice and calm, no tension. And then bring yourself back. And again, keep a little bit of thought to your leg resting quite heavily on the roller. Even if you don't twist as far, it'll be more in your back. Okay, our last one. Take a roll in the roller a little bit forward and finding that slightly deepest twist. And then all the way. Good. And then I'm going to bring myself up to sitting. Now our next position with the roller is we're going to lie on it. If you normally use a head towel in mat class, you might want a small towel on the end of your head. Otherwise, I'm not using one. Okay, before we lie on it, just let's do 1 arm position because it's quite hard to see when you're lying on your back. So this is the kind of hold up position. So my elbow is in line with my shoulder and we're going to do a kind of close the arms together, open when we're lying on our back. Okay, and then we're going to rotate like that. And this is a shoulder joint movement. The arm is in that kind of bent elbow. Okay, and when we do the snow angels, palms to the ceiling and you're going down and up the side like that. Okay, so when you're on your roller, you'll be getting a lot of stretch in your chest muscles. Okay, so to lie on it, sit on the very end, especially if you're tall. You want to get your bottom right on the end so that your head is not falling off the edge. Okay, and you're going to just bring yourself slowly to lying down. And then just take a bit of time, just breathe and let your body just kind of settle in. Okay. The roller is giving you quite firm feedback on your spine alignment, and we want to feel the center back of the head is resting on it, the mid back, pelvis. Good. Now, if you have your feet a little wider, it'll help you feel less wobbly. So if you feel like you're a bit insecure, take the feet wider. But again, if you take the feet narrower, that's going to add more challenge to your core stability. So you can make it a little bit harder by having your feet closer together. Okay, now just get yourself comfy, and then we're going to put our hands on the top of our pelvis and just kind of remind yourself that area of your body, just have a little kind of just hands on, and we're going to flatten our lower back and just let your pubic bone lift up a bit. This really tiny little tuck, and then level. And just breathe super calm. Just notice what happens in your spine when you do this little tuck under. And really feel a little bit of tone in the tummy. And then level. And when we're level, that's what we would say is our neutral pelvis. Okay. Now just slide your hands up a little bit to the side of the body, around the sort of between your ribs and pelvis. And just breathe through the nose if you can. And on your breath out, try and feel your abdomen kind of hugging in, that deep sort of corset type muscle as you breathe out the air, a little kind of hugging of the tummy. So it's just a natural movement of our abdominals when we're breathing. They're going to expand as you breathe in, and they're going to contract a bit more obviously on your breath out. Now, if you have your fingers around that pelvis area, and try and really feel more aware on your exhale, try and focus your mind on feeling the abdominals drawing in and a feeling of a bit more tone around the low belly as you breathe out. Good. Now we're going to put our hands onto the floor, palms down, and think of that tone in the low belly. We're going to breathe out, sink the tummy a little bit, and pick up one leg to tabletop. Now my spine, my pelvis is neutral. I have a little bit of a curve in my lower back, but I'm trying to feel that deep abdominal tone. And I'm going to do very simple single toe taps. Inhale, tap, and exhale, lift. Inhale, tap, very simple, but try and feel that your spine isn't moving and you've got a little bit of low tummy support. As you breathe out, you float your leg up. Now pause in the tabletop and see if you can take your opposite hand across, and we're going to just do a little ab press. So press your thigh bone and hand together, breathe out and try and feel a little more deep abs sinking. And then we're going to relax back down. Okay, we're going to do that really simple little pre-Pilates core exercise. So as we breathe out, float your second leg up, try and feel that little bit of low tummy tone. We're going to inhale, tap, and exhale, lift. So essentially we're hinging our hip while keeping a very stable spine, keeping our balance on the roller. And then last one. Now we're going to take the opposite hand across, do that little press again. So push hands thigh to hand, breathe out and try and feel a little more zipping up in the low tummy. And then we're going to go down. Now we're going to move next into a double tabletop position. So when you're ready, arms can go a bit wider if you feel slightly wobbly. Take one leg up. Now think of that low belly sinking down as you pick up second leg. And breathe and just feel your spine is the same. Your ribs are still lightly touching. We're going to do the single leg stretch. So one leg is going to go to a high diagonal. And then you're going to move and the other leg is going to move. Breathe and move. Now really focus on, can you keep your spine anchored onto that roller? Abdominals gently supporting you. One more each leg. And then we're going to bend our knees and we're going to bring our feet down one by one. And then just take a rest, breathe, relax, try and relax everything, shoulders, jaw, really calm. We're going to move on to our shoulders. So if you take your feet as wide as you need to balance, okay, take the arms up to the ceiling straight, and we're just going to shrug our shoulders up and down a few times. So reach the arms up, blades slide apart, and then drop the blades down. Really simple, just gliding the shoulder blades and just warming up that upper back tissue. Last one. Now lightly pull the blades down. Now I'm going to bend my arms to that hold up position with the elbows bent that we've practiced. And in this position, if I allow my arms to just drop a little towards the floor, what you should be feeling is a stretch in your chest muscles, the pecs. So all the way underneath the chest, You should feel that's quite a strong stretch. We're going to bring our arms up and touch the elbows and wrists, and then open out. And just keep doing, very simple, but it's just moving that upper back and shoulders. More times. Great if you've been sat at a desk, this one. Good. Now keep the arms wide in that hold up position, and we're going to rotate so that your fingertips point to the ceiling, and then rotate so your fingertips point behind you. So it's a shoulder joint rotation, and my arm is moving because my shoulder joint's doing that little forward backwards rotation. Just keep going. It's nice and small movement in that, just that shoulder moving. Good. And then last one, we're going to reach our arms up to the ceiling this time, and we're going to do the snow angels. So this is where we're going to take our arms back over our head, and then let the arms circle out to the side, and at some point the back of your hand is going to be grazing the mat. Palms up to the sky, bring the arms down to the side of the hips, and then circle out to the side across the floor again, and over your head. Okay, and just keep going. Arms just down and up the side, passive shoulder stretch, chest stretch. You might notice your arms lift off the floor as you go over your head. If your shoulder joints feel tighter than mine, obviously I'm fairly bendy, so my arms stay down, but that's not necessarily what's gonna look, it's not gonna look like that on everyone. And then all the way down. Now turn the palms down. Just have another moment breathing, and we're going to move into a little ab curl. So have your feet as wide as you need to balance. We're going to take our hands, interlace them, place them behind our head. Good. Now, just lift your head a centimetre and try and let your head feel really heavy. Okay, my elbows are lifted and my neck is, nice and calm. Okay, as I breathe out, I'm going to curl my chest up and carry my head into a little curl hover. Now breathe, try and feel your abdominals sinking deep again, and then lower back down. Now keep practicing and try and resist the temptation to yank your head. So carry your head and try and feel it's the trunk muscles, your abdominal muscles are what lifts you up. Not your arms, you're not pulling, it's your abdominals. Now on this one, curl up. And then we're going to reach our arms, and you're going to try and reach as if you're going to touch towards your knees, not maybe that far, but touch. And then you're going to lower your spine down, circle the arms over the head, out to the side, and we're going to repeat that. So you're going to curl up, think of tapping your knees, and then lowering down. We're going to do this 2 more times, just adding a little bit of abdominals. Stretching back. One more time. Good. Now we're going to nice and calmly come off our roller, dismount from it. So if you take yourself to one side carefully, you're going to lie onto your back, and then just put the roller behind your bum. So it's kind of between your ankles and your hips, just long ways. Okay. And then just take a moment, just totally relax here. Breathe a few calm breaths, let your shoulders feel relaxed. You should feel a little more open in the upper back and shoulder blade area. And just again, just feel your spine, just take a couple of breaths. Nice and calm. Now we're going to do some stretches for our hips next. So from here, if you lift your pelvis up and just pull the roller so it's underneath your buttocks again. And then rest your hips down on it. Now, as we're doing these hip stretches, if you notice you're sort of sliding off it, put your feet back on the floor and re-wedge yourself. So it should be right in the sort of middle of your bottom. You're going to hold your hand on the roller to stop it rolling back. And then we're going to bring our legs up to tabletop. And we're going to give our hips another little massage. So if you rock all of your weight onto one side, you're back on that glute muscle again. and then rock through center to the other side, and just breathe and just kind of give a little massage to your hips. Good, and you might notice again here, one side more tight than the other. Okay, now pause in center. Now we're going to stretch the front part of our hip, just to wiggle my bum on a bit more. So I'm going to let my left knee fall into my chest, and I'm going to put my right foot on the floor. Okay, now if you can keep the roller still with your right hand, with your left hand, grab the shin, and I'm trying to pull that shin a bit into me and tuck my tail under. Now, once you're tucking in this position, you're starting to feel this front hip is getting a little bit of stretch. Okay, I'm going to slide my right foot along the floor. It might not go to straight, but until you feel a big stretch. If you're not feeling a stretch, try tucking more. So pubic bone up, tailbone under, and you should feel that stretches the front of your hip. Okay, use your tummy to keep that pelvis tucked under. Now, if I press my right heel into the floor and tuck, it's going to really stretch those front hip flexors. And then relax a little bit. I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to push my heel down, tuck my tail under, pull my abdominals in. Good. Now keep that big, huge stretch happening and see if you can slowly straighten your right leg. And it might come off the floor, and just try and keep tucking. Now you're just going to lower and lift that straight leg a couple of inches up and down. If you can keep the leg parallel, you'll feel that stretch a bit more deeply. Mine is desperately trying to rotate on this side because it's a tight hip. It should be giving you a monster stretch through the front of the hip. Good, now we're going to repeat that on the second side. So come back to tabletop. If your bum is sliding off the roller, put your feet down and reposition. So now I'm going to put my left knee into my chest, put my right foot on the floor, and I'm going to tuck my pelvis and then slide the left leg out. And again, you can hold your shin with your right hand if the roller is staying still. Good, now just breathe and feel that huge stretch happening. Tuck under more if you're not quite getting it. Push your heel into the mat. When you push your heel down, it's going to engage the back of the hips and you should feel the stretch more deeply. So kind of relax and then push the heel down a few times. Now, most of us adults are chronically tight formed. It's so common to be really tight in the hips. So this is really good stretch to do frequently. If you straighten that left leg really nice and long, you're going to lift it up and lower it down a few times. And just giving yourself that huge big stretch through the front hip. It's going to help you move your lower back a bit more easily if you can get a little more length in those muscles. Good. Now bring your legs back to tabletop. Again, reposition the roller if you need to. We're going to straighten our legs towards the ceiling. Now, if you don't have fully straight legs, just go as straight as your legs are able to go. And just do a little point flex of the ankle. Now we're going to turn our legs out. So I'm in a V, and I'm going to open my legs really wide into a big inner thigh stretch. And then I'm going to squeeze my heels back. Okay. So just do it 4 times, just opening the legs wide, squeezing your heels and inner thighs back. That's it, last one. Good, now we're going to do a scissor, so turn the legs parallel. One leg's going to go towards your head, one away from you. Do a little pulse, pulse, switch, pulse, pulse. Then hamstring, front hip again. Great for our hip mobility. Good, last one. Good, and then I'm going to carefully bring my feet down onto the mat. I'm going to lift my bottom, slide the roller out, and just lower my pelvis down. Now just take a little breath here and notice how does your lower back feel after those hip stretches. Just nice and calm, maybe a little bit less tightness in the lower back too. Okay, now we're going to put our feet on the roller, the arches. So just relax your feet. Just lie here, just feel your back, shoulders relaxed, spine, notice where your spine touches the mat. We're going to do a little footwork where we roll the roller away and in. And this is sort of mimicking a little bit of what happens in our reformer Pilates footwork. So you're trying to keep your spine and your trunk still, and let your legs roll out. And as you do that, the roller will roll over your ankles, and you're trying not to let your back arch at all. Keep it absolutely still. So when I finish, the roller's behind my heels. Now, as I roll it back towards me, it's going to roll over my ankles. I'm going to try and get my arches back on it and put it in. Okay, now once you've got the bare bones of it, just keep going and try to not let your spine change. So it's a core. You should feel your trunk, and it's waking up the hamstring. When you pull in, it's little hamstring and abdominals. You can put your hands there. We don't want any little tuck or tips of the pelvis. We're just trying to move our hips, keeping our back still, using our abdominals, roller. And one more time. And back. Now we're going to add in a little abdominal 100. So prep to start with. Take your arms to the ceiling. Now we're going to breathe out, curl your head and chest up, and imagine you're reaching your fingers to your roller. And then from here, we're going to roll the roller away. Now, as I roll it back into me, I'm going to really pull my tummy in, breathe out, and roll it back. And then come back down. Okay, and again, so I'm going to curl my chest. We can do this a few times. You're going to roll the roller out. Breathe out, roll it back in. And lower down. And I'm going to add a little arm over the head stretch because it feels good. And again, so curl up, roll the roller out, roll it in, and then all the way down. Now we're going to do a little bit of the 100, and just do as much of this as you feel fit and healthy for. I'm going to actually get my feet together for this so I can find my inner thighs a bit more. Curl up, reach your legs long. Now try and hug your inner thighs together. Zip up your tummy and try and curl up so your shoulder blades are just hovering. And this is your sort of 100 position, okay? We're going to breathe, inhale. As you exhale, zip up the abdominals and inner thighs. Breathe in. Breathe out. Zip up the tummy. Now, if you need to take a break, this is a challenging exercise, do. If you feel good, try lifting up one leg. Inhale. Exhale, float leg number 2. Deepen your belly as you pick up your leg. One more each side. Try and feel the weight of the leg is in that tummy as you lift it up. And down, last one. And down. Good. And then we're going to take a stretch over your head just to have a little break. Give your head a little roll. So exercise like the 100 should be built up to gradually so that you have the strength in your abdominals to support the head, and we don't want to feel our neck. Okay, so if you feel your neck, go back to the prep exercises for a bit longer. Okay, I'm going to bring the roller back in, and we're going to do a bridge. And I will say again, if you feel crampy in your hamstrings when you do a normal pelvic curl shoulder bridge, I would advise you to just put your feet on the floor and don't use the roller because it's very strong on the hamstrings. Okay, so make your choice. Shoulders relaxed. Feet, if you're using the roller, they're just wrapped over the curve of the roller. I'm going to tilt my pelvis and I'm going to roll through my spine and really stand on my foam roller. And then as I roll down, I'm trying to roll through my back, vertebra by vertebra, keeping the roller still, and back down. Okay, we're going to do it a couple more times. So it's a very strong exercise on your hamstrings, as you'll be feeling if you're using the roller. Imagine you're almost trying to pull it under you a little bit, and then rolling back down. We're going to do 2 more. If it's too strong with the roller, just remember, feet on the ground is absolutely fine way to do this. Reach the knees, stand on your little roller. And then all the way down. We've got 1 more to go. And if it feels good, I quite like the stretch over the head, so I'm going to roll my spine up. I'm going to stand on my roller. I'm going to take my arms up, stretch them over my head. Now, if you're feeling really up for a challenge, try and pull the roller in and out a couple of times. And then stay tall and roll down through your spine, vertebra by vertebra. Getting tall, 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 until all of your spine is down, and then bring your arms up. Okay, we're going to come to sitting next. So if you feel good, you can do a roll up or modify, roll to the side, bring yourself up, sit. Good, now we're going to do some half roll abs with the roller the other way around. So we're going to use it to find our inner thighs a bit more. So long roller, heels on, and I'm going to squeeze. So what I feel is the inner part of my leg. Okay, so squeeze onto that roller, reach your arms out, curve your spine, think of tucking the tail, think of those deep tummy muscles, scoot back, and we're going to round backwards halfway to the ground, keep squeezing on your roller, and then breathe out and round up. Good. And again, keep hugging your roller halfway back. And then breathe out, tummy, 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 and sit yourself all the way up. Good. One more time. And all the way up. Now we're going to add on a little side twist of the torso. So if you clamp your hands together in a long prayer, like your Charlie's Angels pose, we're going to round halfway back. Now scoop in the tummy, curl the tail, and squeeze your roller. And you're going to imagine if you had a pen in your fingertips, you could draw a straight line to one corner in your room. And then deepen the tummy as you come back. And you're going to draw a straight line to the other corner. And then deepen the tummy and come back. And then we're going to sit up. And we're going to repeat that. So if you feel really good, you can go a bit further back. Otherwise, same again. So round. That's it. Curl the tail, you're going to twist and come to center, and we're going to twist and come to center, and breathe out, come all the way up to sitting. Good. And then let's have a break. Okay, so the next thing we're going to use our roller for is a little balance challenge with it under our knees. So if you bring it around long ways again, and again, you can do this without a roller, or if you feel wobbly, you don't need to use it. Okay, I'm going to bring my hands in front of me, and I'm going to be basically in 4-point kneeling, but with my roller under my knees. Arms out, fingers spread out. Now try and have a nice flat back, and my toes are on the mats. That's helping me balance. If my feet are up, that's super duper wobbly. So keep your toes helping you balance. Lift the tummy. Now find a lovely length through your spine. And we're going to start really gently by just trying to take one arm off without shifting too much. Put that down. And then the other arm. And down. Now we're going to do just leg. So one leg, can you just take one leg off and stay balanced? And in. And then can you do the other leg? Now, if you're feeling okay and you can balance, the last one is one arm, one leg. So you're trying to do one arm and one leg. Hold balance. You can feel it's a little more wobbly on the roller. Hold for a while. Switch sides. Hold for a while. And then down. Now our last exercise is mimicking knee stretches on the reformer. It's a reformer exercise. So if you take your feet off and you're going to tuck your tail, think like a cat stretch, and you're going to roll the roller up your shins and try and bring them underneath you. And as you do that, really pull your tummy in, and then you're going to roll it out. Okay? So as you roll in, round the spine, and but you get a little bit of a shin massage. If your roller is very, very firm, it might be a bit too strong, but try if your roller is not too hard, it's a good massage on the shins as well. And back. Good. Now we're going to sit back on to the mat behind our roller. And we're going to do a forearm plank on the roller. And I'm going to use a towel because where I had my surgery, it's a bit sore still, so I'm going to just pad it a bit. Okay, so, and if you've got a really hard roller, you can pad as well. So a regular forearm plank, but on the roller, it's going to add a bit of instability, make us work a bit harder. Okay, so I'm going to be on my forearms. Now you can do it just knees halfway back as a modified version, or if you feel you can manage it, you're going to step into 2 legs and just breathe. Just keep a nice tall spine, keep the tummy lifted. Just try and hold yourself here. You can feel the rollers wobbling all over the place. You're trying to hold yourself against that wobbly thing. Good, and then we're going to come down onto our knees. And then our almost last position is lying on our front with the roller out in front of us. So if you go ahead and lie on your tummy, take your arms out long, legs together if you can, and you want to have your arms in a wide V. Palms are on the roller. I'm going to start just with shoulders. So if I'm looking down at the floor, I'm going to just try and roll the roller forward and let my shoulder blades really lift up to my ears. And then let the blades drop down your back. And again, just shrug the arms up and pull the blades down. One more time, just shoulders. Now pull your blades down, and we're going to just do one more just shoulders. So this time, keep your spine where it is, but bend your elbows and roll the roller to the top of your head. And you're in that sort of hold up position. My elbows are lifted, and then I'm going to roll forward. So again, I'm opening my shoulders, shoulder blades are wide. One more time. Now I'm going to keep my arms long. I'm lightly pressing down on the roller, and I'm going to lift up my head. Think of sending your heart, your chest forward, and as you come up, you might find the roller rolls a little bit towards you. Okay, and then you're going to roll back down. Okay. So nice and calm, a little extension of the spine. Good. Now, if you feel good and you're quite a confident mover, you can come a little higher into a slightly bigger back extension. It should feel absolutely fine on your back. You should definitely, if you're coming high, you don't want to feel it in your lower back. Keep it small if you know this is a hard one for you. Good, now lower down and up, let your head hover, and we're going to just swim kick our legs next. So think of, you're holding a float in a swimming pool. You're going to float your legs up so they're slightly hovering. Pelvis is down, abdominals are lightly lifted. And then think of one leg is going to kick a little bit higher. Then you're going to switch and kick the other leg. Think of the thigh bone lifting, but your pelvis staying still. So you're extending your hips. You should feel your bottom, your hamstrings, not your lower back. So just watch that you don't feel any tightness in the lower back. Go smaller. If you do, just watch that. Last one. Good, and then rest. Now we're going to sit back in a rest position. So let go of your roller. Just sit back in on your ankles, knees apart. And just take a little bit of time here, just breathing. And think of expanding the ribs, sort of wide rib cage. If you come up onto avocado hands, we did this in classes recently. So if your finger up on your fingertips, and then let your head rest down. It's a bigger stretch on the shoulders if that feels good. Okay, optional, of course. You can take your 2 hands to one side. And then 2 hands to the second side. And then bring yourself up to kneeling. Now we're going to do a cat stretch kneeling, where we're rolling the roller with us forward and back. If you find it's too fiddly or it bothers you in any way, you can just do a normal cat stretch without the roller, but it's quite fun and it kind of helps you stretch your shoulders if it's okay for you. So you're going to be kneeling up, the roller's in front of me, and I'm going to think of doing a standing roll down or a kneeling roll down. So just let your head nod, think of your top of your spine rounding, and as you get lower, you're going to be able to reach your fingertips on the roller, and then I'm going to roll it out, dive forward, it's going to roll up my forearms, and then I'm going to kind of look up a little bit at the end, a little bit like a cat stretch at the end. And then I'm going to curl my tail, lift my tummy and roll the roller back in. And that's where you should get a stretch in your back. So come to fingertips and then again, dive forward. Let the spine flatten out. And then curl from the tailbone, round, round, round. Roll up, roll up, roll up. Good, one more time. And then up. Good, that's quite a nice variation to do it on an angle. So if you put your roller on a diagonal and do exactly the same cat stretch 2 times on a diagonal, and you'll feel it just stretches that one side of your spine a bit more. So if I nod my head, I round over, and I'm going to roll the roller that way. And then I'm going to roll it back in, curl my tail and come up. One more this direction. Good. And then just grab my roller, change to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 times diagonal foam roller, cat stretch, nod the head, round over, hold the tail, round up. One more time. And then up. All to kneeling. Okay, good. So we're going to do side support with or without the roller next. This is a really challenging version of a side plank if you do want to use the roller. So I would only suggest doing this if you're really happy doing a side plank with straight legs and you know your body feels good doing it. If it's a little bit too much, I would just say ignore the roller and do a little side plank like this. Okay, or with one leg out, one leg bent. Okay, if you're happy to try, you want to try the slightly more challenging version on the roller, come onto your side, you're on your forearm, and we're going to put our legs on the roller. My underneath leg is in front, my top leg is behind, and it's kind of actually, I want it more on my ankles. Okay, now I'm going to really lift up my underside rib, push down into my forearm a lot, and see if I can lift myself up into a side hover. I'm just going to see if I can hold myself there. Push down on the roller, keep lifting up your underside, and then lower down. Okay, we're going to do it 2 more times. This is a challenging version, so feel free to just do it without the roller if it's too strong. Push down, lift up, and hold yourself there. Should really feel your side working a lot. And then come down, we'll do it 1 more time. Push down, lift up, hold, 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 very tall. Really good strength work on your side torso. And then down. Good, now come off the roller. We're going to do a little mermaid. So I'm going to sit like so. Figure of 4 stretch. 90-90, sorry, even. Take your hand on your shin, arm up, and we just side bend over. And just breathe, feel like you're stretching out that side we just worked on. And then come up. Okay, so second side, you're going to take your roller to the other end. I'm going to use my little elbow pad on this one, and I might or might not do it. So remember, you can just do it without the roller. On your forearm, lift your rib, come up. If you want to try it on the roller, my underneath leg is forward, my other one back. I'm going to just see how I go. I might not do this. We'll see how it feels. I'm going to lift my underside rib. I'm going to push down with my legs, and you're going to come up and hold and just breathe. Keep lifting your side up away from the floor, and then come down. And again, I'm going to try to push down through your forearm, lift up. This is much weaker on me because I've had this injury. Really hard. Hold, hold, hold. And down. Now, if you want to do third one, I'm going to skip my third one. And I'm just going to do it on my knees instead. So if you want to do third one, do third one. I'm going to do the gentle one. Good, and then come down. Now use your hands and we're going to sit into a little mermaid. So hold your shin, take your arm up, and then just do a nice calmly side bend over. And breathe. Okay, now we're going to finish with some hip stretches, sort of lunge hip stretches, using the roller just as a little tool to help us. These are really great stretches to do, just to look after your hips and keep your body healthy. So we're going to step up. I'm going to put my left leg over, and I'm going to have the roller, and I'm using it just to hold, so it makes it a little bit less far to the ground. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck my back right toes under and lift my knee up into a lunge. Okay, and just let yourself slowly pelvis drop. Try and keep your back leg straight, head is tall, and you should be getting a nice stretch across the front of that hip. Now I'm going to straighten both legs and let the roller roll a bit. So I'm now getting a big hamstring stretch, and if you want to, you can walk up onto that foot. And then I'm going to go back down into my deep lunge. And then I'm going to rock back into my big hamstring stretch. One more time. Good, and then I'm going to come down. I'm going to let my knee drop. I'm going to switch legs. So I'm doing my big lunge stretches on the other leg. So hands are on the roll. I'm going to tuck my toes, lift my knee up. Let your hips drop down a little bit, so you're in a really nice deep lunge position. Okay, and then we're going to try and straighten our legs and rock up into the heel, into a big hamstring stretch. And then rock back into a nice deep lunge, look a little forward. So go for it a couple of times. Good, last one. Good, drop the back knee, step back out, take your foot off. Okay, so we're nearly finished with our roller class. We're going to just do a little walk to our feet from a plank position, roll up, and then we're going to do a roll down, walk out, and either hold a plank for 3 counts or push up if you're strong and you feel like you want to go for the slightly harder version. So to start with, just test out how you feel in plank, hands spread, no roller to worry about anymore. I'm going to step out, I'm going to hold myself here. Breathe, try and feel nice and tall. I'm going to lift my hips up. Good. Bring your feet in a bit, shake out your head, stick your sit bones to the ceiling. Just enjoy a few breaths here. Just stretching out the back of the legs. Nice and calm breathing. I'm going to bend one knee at a time and stretch out the back leg calf. Then I'm going to practice walking towards my feet, which is what we do in our push-up in Pilates mat work. Have a little forward fold. And then roll up to stand. Now we're going to do one time roll down into a plank with optional push-ups. Okay, so just stand tall to start with. Nice and calm. Let your head gently nod. Let your spine round over. As you round down, feel free to bend your knees a little bit or a lot if you need to, that's okay. And you're going to try and walk out into a plank position. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 if you need to adjust. Now you can just hold plank, or you can add a few push-ups. If you want to, just plank is fine. I'm going to lift my hips up. I'm going to walk back towards my feet. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to roll myself up to standing. Good. And then just stand tall and just breathe. And just have a kind of quiet moment, nice and calm. Being upright, trying to feel your shoulders have had a good loosen up. Your hips have had a really good loosen up. When you're ready, just step onto the mat, off your mat, onto a nice flat floor. We're just going to rise up and down. So just really simple rises to end. So spread out the toes a little bit. Just rise up. And then gently lower down. That's it, just rising up. Try and gently press the toes down. Try and feel centered, feel calm. Go tall through the crown of your head. A couple more times. And last one. And down. And then just take a little stretch up with your arms. And then breathe out and relax your arms down and out. Good. And we'll finish there. Hope everybody feels stretched out. Okay, I'm going to stop. Stop it.